Hello, my name is Britt Pierce. I'm a watch enthusiast. It's the summer, it's Geneva Watch Days, so by the time this goes out, by the time this is live, I will be in Switzerland for that. So let's take it easy, let's do a Q&A, let's answer some questions. Is Rolex hype finally dead? I think we're probably out of the peak of Rolex hype, but probably never out of Rolex popularity. Rolex have positioned themselves in such a way that they are aspirational but still achievable, even if it is with years of saving. They are a household name, maybe the only watch brand, exclusively watch brand that is. You have brands like Cartier and Chopard, but they are better known for their jewelry. Yeah, I think we're out of peak hype, but very much still popular. If you had a crystal ball, which watches released in the last 5 years will be popular in 20 years' time? Ooh, I love this question. I love it so much. It's everything I like. Exceptionally low stakes speculation. I would guess a lot of Cartier and kinda oddball Cartier. So limited runs like the Tortue Mono Pusher, Cloche, and maybe even something like the Pasha with the removable grille. Maybe quite specific Omega Speedmasters, like the return of the first Omega in space, and I could see the Constellation having a bit of a resurgence. Rolex Celebration dials, they'll be super rare, and Titanium Yachtmaster. Do you feel that Vacheron is better than Rolex? What is better? They are positioned as a higher tier of watchmaking, beautifully finished movements, and tend to lean on the dressy side. They are investing more into their sports watches like the Overseas and the revival of the 222, and I'd imagine that sports watch sales are a significant and meaningful revenue source for them. But generally they're thought of more as a dress watch brand, high complications, true watchmaking. Rolex is positioned completely different. They're more of a mid-tier luxury point, and they are sports watches. No one does stainless steel like Rolex. They are popular and loved for a reason. I'd say Vacheron is technically better, but what does better mean if you can't afford it or if it wouldn't be a practical purchase for you? Is Swatch the reason why Omega isn't releasing a smaller, thinner Diver 300? It's their marriage to the coaxial escapement, and there just isn't a way to slim down coaxial due to the design. Even if you've had the pleasure of seeing a Roger Smith watch, it is thicker than you think it would be. The coaxial escapement system is brilliant, it's one of the biggest and coolest innovations to the escapement, and Omega took a giant risk in switching to it, but it does mean thickness. Opinion on watch dealers trying to be influencers. This one's harder for me because I am a purebred YouTuber. I have no interest in selling watches or using my platform to do so. As long as you view watch dealer videos through the lens of, they have a massive vested interest here, there's a huge conflict of interest here, it's still very enjoyable content. If you were to launch your own micro brand, what style of watch would you create? It would be a micro brand that no one wanted to buy. I would make obscenely opulent, obscenely luxurious dress watches. I'd need to employ a proper watchmaker. I would want to make beautiful movements. I would specialize in beautiful micro rotor movements. It wouldn't be affordable. I would run at a loss, and no one would want to buy them. How would the rise in prices of everything / economic squeeze impact affordable micro brands? We actually have an episode coming out soon on my hit podcast, The Movement, with Adrian Barker. It's not a hit podcast, but I love making it. I think micro brands are about to be a very interesting experiment. Most micro brands deliver bang for buck, achievable prices, and tend to cater to enthusiasts. When an economic squeeze happens, we see the more casual watch people drop out, but the enthusiasts and people who see this as a hobby will continue to consume. I think if micro brands really cater to enthusiasts, they will thrive. Baume & Mercier Clifton or IWC Portofino? IWC Portofino, and I'm not going to be any more specific than that. Does watch journalism / influencers affect consumer habits? Okay, I love this question. I don't consider myself a watch journalist or influencer, although I get lumped into those confines a lot. I think no one pays attention to watch journalism except for other watch journalists, and people who are seriously considering buying a watch. I work in the watch industry. I work on this channel. This is what I do full time. And I'm not even reading these articles when they come out. Let me know in the comment section if you are. I'm just such a YouTube person. I would rather watch a YouTube video than read a review and see pictures, but that's just me. Let me know what you do in the comments. But I mostly turn to watch journalism or watch articles and publications if I'm strongly considering purchasing something and I want to hear from someone who has a little bit more insight or has been hands-on. Watch journalists and influencers don't really inform public feelings. They just kind of validate it if people really go looking for it. In fact, I would say influencers, and maybe even as far as celebrity brand ambassadors, but more so influencers, affect public sentiment more. I wouldn't like the Cartier Panther, for me, if I didn't see pretty girls wearing it and styling it and thinking, ooh, maybe that is cool. All the girlies are loving the Panther, but I don't think I've ever seen a Fratello article gushing over it. If we look at the Morgan Stanley Swiss Watch Report, enthusiasts are surprised every year by the brands that are on the rise, and that's because they're not the brands that we're buying or gushing over. Lots of brands did price hikes above what people are willing to pay. Reductions coming soon? I think we are already seeing it, although brands aren't explicitly decreasing their prices. For most brands, if you go to the authorized dealer, it's assumed that you could ask for a cheeky discount or if there's any wiggle room in the price, and you'll probably get it. And on top of that, there's been so many sales. Like, if I was going to buy anything not Rolex, I would ask if there's any wiggle room in the price, and I would expect to get between 15 to 20% off. And it's not because I'm a YouTuber. There's always conspiracies that brands are trying to keep me sweet. I don't think they want to work with us. Even if you go on the Goldsmith's website right now, you will find Tudors in the sale, Longines, Oris. Formal reductions may be coming, especially if things get quite dire, but informal reductions here now. Eyeing any watch for the collection? So many, always. I really want a cool Cartier, like a Cartier Cloche or an A. Lange & Söhne. Both of these would take significant saving, and I keep spending all my money on neo-vintage Omegas. So, best his and her watch pair. JLC Reverso, so good. Get the monoface and then a romantic engraving on the back. Because love is forever, and so is this engraving and this watch purchase. You cannot resell this on. What would be your dream watch release from NOMOS? I'd love to see teeny weeny watches, like the teeny tiniest Tonganta, or a micro Tetra. I think it would be so cute, it would be adorable and playful. How do you feel about scratches on your watch? I've always been pretty okay about scratches. I think it adds a lot of character and charm, but I like that in everything. I hate clothes that look new and pristine. I like my clothes to look lived in and worn. And I feel the same about watches. I like them to look lived in and worn. What is a dead watch brand that you think is deserving of a return? Hot take, I don't think any dead brands deserve a return. They've died. Let them die. I'd love to see more new brands, new watchmakers, forging the way in the future of horology. When I think of the brands that I'm the most excited about right now, it is Richard Mille, Grubel Forsey, Rich Happy. A lot of these revived names are just taking the old reputation of a brand and putting them now. Like, we could try to revive the names of John Arnold, Thomas Mudge, but it's not really those clockmakers. Does that sound grumpy? I feel like that sounds really grumpy. The heart of what I'm trying to say is less revivals, more creation. Okay, let's stop this here because I'm beginning to sound grumpy and people are going to see the real me, and it's definitely best if we don't see her. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted questions. It was on Instagram and I wrote down all the questions that I loved, but I forgot to screenshot them. So I'm so sorry that the names that submitted these aren't credited. If you saw your question, let me know in the comments down below. I'm so sorry I lost all of these. They were awesome questions. I wish I could have answered more. Thank you for your viewership. You're all awesome. And I'll see you when I'm back from Geneva. Oh, did you think I was going to forget to talk about the Pope tier patrons? Not on this channel. Absolutely not, buddy. These are the Pope tier patrons. They are the most amazing people in the world. They've never done anything wrong. All sins have been absolved forever. So if you like this channel, you should become a Pope tier patron. I hate doing hard sells. No one has to become a Pope tier patron, but thank you to the people who are. Thank you so much for supporting my weird little channel, and I hope you keep enjoying what we do over here. Okay, bye guys.